Let's be real. Everyone wants to be successful, but most people are not ready for what success actually demands. They talk big post quotes, flex motivation, but when it's time to put in the work, they disappear. This world doesn't give trophies for potential. It rewards those who show up, shut up, and do the job daily. If you're looking for softwares and shortcuts, leave now. But if you're ready to hear the truth, the raw truth behind what makes champions rise, what separates winners from wishers, then lock in. Because today we're breaking down the real power behind success. And it all begins with this: discipline is the bridge between wishing and winning. Discipline is the bridge between wishing and winning. Everyone has dreams, everyone has goals, everyone has that picture in their mind of success, of glory, of standing at the top while the world watches. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Wishing for something means nothing without the discipline to chase it every single day. Wishing is easy, it feels good, it gives us hope, but wishing without action is empty. It's like staring at a locked door, hoping it'll open without ever trying to turn the handle. Discipline is what builds the bridge between the dream in your mind and the reality you want to live. It's not talent, not luck, not charm. Those things might start the journey, but they don't finish it. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when it's cold, dark, and silent. Discipline is what makes you push through pain when your muscles scream and your body wants to quit. Wishing doesn't do that. Discipline does. Look at those at the top, not the ones who got famous overnight, but the ones who stayed at the top. They've bled for their goals. They've trained when no one clapped. They've said no to parties, no to laziness, no to anything that didn't align with their mission. That's the mindset that separates the ordinary from the unstoppable. Everyone wants to win. You are willing to walk the brutal, boring, daily road that winning demands. Discipline is not loud. It doesn't show off. It works in silence. While others dream, you train. While others sleep, you rise. Sleep, you rise. While others complain, you execute. That's the bridge. That's the grind. And you don't walk it once. You walk it every single day. You don't cross it with ease. You fight for every step. You fall. You get back up. You push forward. Not because it's easy, but because you've decided you won't live your life wishing. Winners don't live in the world of a maybe. They live in the world of must. It must happen. It must be done. And that kind of mindset only comes from discipline. Also, it means showing up no matter what mood you're in. It means training not because you feel like it, but because you've made a decision, one you refuse to break. If you want to win, truly win, you need to stop relying on motivation and start building discipline. Because wishing is passive, wishing waits. Discipline acts, wishing hopes. Discipline works, wishing fades. Discipline stays. That's how the bridge is built. That's how the dream becomes real, not through desire, but through discipline. Consistency matters more than motivation. Let's be honest, motivation is overrated. It feels good in the moment. You watch a video, hear a speech, feel pumped for a day, maybe a week. But what happens when it disappears? What happens when the fire dies out and the hype fades? That's when most people quit. Because they were never built on discipline. They were built on feeling. And feelings change. Consistency is different. Consistency is commitment without emotion. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you're bored. It doesn't care if no one is watching. Consistency is about showing up every day, every rep, every session, no matter what. It's about doing the work when you're on fire and doing the same work when the fire is gone. That's what separates the elite from the average. The average waits for motivation. The elite creates results through discipline and consistency. They don't need to feel ready. They've trained themselves to move anyway. They've built habits so strong, keeping a session feels wrong. That's the power of consistency. Motivation is like a spark. But consistency is like a furnace. It burns steady, slow, and strong. It builds character. It builds mental strength. It builds results. You can train once a week with all the motivation in the world and get nowhere. Or you can train 5 times a week with no motivation and build something unstoppable. That's the difference. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up even when you're not. Consistency also builds trust that beats trust. Yourself, when you show up daily, you start believing in your own work. You don't rely on anyone else to push you. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You create your own momentum. And that becomes powerful. Because the one who is consistent becomes dangerous. The one who shows up daily without fail becomes a machine. Most people will never reach their potential, not because they didn't have the talent, but because they lacked consistency. They start strong but quit too early. They train hard for a week, then disappear for a month. You can't win like that. You can't grow like that. Excellence is not built in bursts. It's built in patterns, small daily efforts stacked over time. If you want to be the best, consistency must become your lifestyle. It must be automatic, not forced, not dramatic, just relentless. You wake up, you grind, you don't wait to feel inspired. You show up because that's who you are now. That's what it takes. That's the mindset. Every single day, no matter what. Show up every day, no matter what. The ones who rise to the top are not always the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to stay down. Champions show up when it's raining, when they're sore, when their mind screams for rest. They don't negotiate with excuses. They don't let feelings dictate their actions. Discipline is built through repetition, and showing up daily is non-negotiable. Even on the worst days, they lace up, they focus, and they put in the work. That's how mental toughness is formed. Not in the easy moments, but in the ones where everything you say stop and you move forward anyway. Success demands sacrifice and discomfort. If success was comfortable, everyone would have it. But real growth lives in discomfort. Champions are forged through early mornings, late nights, aching bodies, and lonely paths. They say no to temptations others say yes to. They trade comfort for commitments, rest for reps, and pleasure for purpose. Success doesn't come to those who do what's easy. It comes to those who endure the hard, the boring, the painful. The sacrifices behind the scenes are what create greatness in the spotlight. No shortcuts, no excuses, no distractions. The path to greatness is straight, tough, and unforgiving. There are no secret doors, no magic hacks, just pure effort and discipline. Those who succeed refuse to cheat the process. They don't look for easier ways, they look for better effort. Excuses don't exist in their world because excuses don't change results. Distractions are treated like enemies because focus is everything. Every second counts, every decision matters, and every shortcut avoided is a step closer to mastery. The standard is excellence, and anything less is unacceptable. Grind when others rest. What you do when no one's watching determines how far you go. While others take breaks, sleep in, or waste time, the relentless are at it grinding. They train in silence, improve in shadows, and prepare in moments of stillness. It's not about working all day, it's about working when it counts. The quiet hours, the empty gyms, the unseen reps, these are the moments that stack into dominance. They choose effort over ease, hustle over hype, and consistency over comfort. Discipline is painful, but regret is worse. Every rep, every session, every sacrifice hurts, but it's a controlled pain, a chosen struggle. Discipline asks for everything: time, energy, patience, and focus. It trains you, breaks you down, and demands you keep going. But what's worse is the sting of regret. In pain of knowing you could have done more, trained harder, focused better. Regret lingers longer than any physical exhaustion. Discipline gives you a future. Regret steals it. The pain of effort fades, but the pain of missed opportunities echoes forever in the mind. Champions are built in silence. There's no applause in the early mornings, no crowd when you're drenched in sweat alone, no praise when you're grinding in the dark. That's where true champions are made. Not the spotlight, but in the silence. The hours no one sees, the effort no one acknowledges, decisions no one understands. This is where greatness is formed. Real progress doesn't need validation. It only needs repetition, hunger, and belief. The ones who embrace the silence become the loudest in success. Discipline delivers what talent alone can't. Talent might open the door, but it's discipline that keeps you inside. The world is full of gifted people who never made it, not because they lacked ability, but because they lacked consistency, structure, and sacrifice. Discipline turns raw potential into real performance. It takes what you're good at and sharpens it daily, pushing limits, refining weaknesses, and building unshakable habits. Talent can make you special, but only discipline makes you unstoppable. It's the relentless grind that elevates you beyond natural ability and into elite territory. Talk less, train more. Words mean nothing without action. Talking about goals, sharing plans, making promises. All of it is noise unless it's backed by daily execution. Champions let their work speak. They don't waste energy proving things to others. They prove it in sweat, in sacrifice, in results. Training is where confidence is earned, not in conversation. Every rep is a statement, every drill a declaration. The real ones don't announce moves. They make them in silence and let the outcome shout the truth. If you're ready to dominate, lock in and train with. This is Cristiano Ronaldo, where excuses end and greatness begins. Let's go, oncoming fire.